Savon the Don goes off on Mal and calls him out for disrespecting him by saying he was ball glazing Joe Budden.
Have never said anything to Rory and Mal in a disrespectful, distasteful way, ever. So for Mal to feel comfortable enough to put my name in the same sentence as ball glazing because I'm appreciative of the opportunity that the three of them have afforded me at that time. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. For you to think that I only gave Joe the credit for it is an insecurity within you, is projection within yourself.
That's right, the fellas of the Need to Know podcast, Alex and Savon, decided to get right to it and called out Mal for crossing the line. For those of you that don't know, there's a whole bunch of controversy about Joe Budden's sit down with the Need to Know podcast, which is hosted by Savon and Alex, who were producers, interns for the show back when Rory and Mal were on it. Well, anyway, they talked about all of the secret meetings, all of the issues Rory and Mal had with Joe. And that prompted Rory and Mal to go on their Patreon and discuss what was said. Well, Rory and Mal basically unloaded on Savon and Alex, calling them liars and hinting that they were chasing clout by trying to appease Joe Budden and protect their industry relationships, as opposed to telling the truth of what happened. Well, throughout that whole thing, they were making Savon and Alex look crazy.
You had me staying in the Four Seasons. I saw Charles Barkley. Like, that's not ball glazing to y'all?
So much so that it prompted Savon and Alex to go on their platform, The Need to Know, and address what Rory and Mal said. And I think the biggest thing of note is Savon saying that he felt highly disrespected when Mal said Savon was ball glazing by appreciating Joe for putting him at the Four Seasons when they went on tour. I have to say this is the most passionate I've ever seen Savon in any form or fashion. He looks like he's genuinely upset. Furthermore, Savon even took some more shots at Mal, hinting that he might have felt insecure at the praise that Joe Budden was receiving on behalf of Savon. Savon seems to have this kind of belief that Mal feels like Joe Budden shouldn't get the praise that he did for setting up the scenario, setting up the situation. He even calls Joe Budden the driving factor behind the Joe Budden podcast with Rory and Mal, which I think is a subtle dig, as it appears to me that Mal doesn't feel like Joe Budden deserves much credit for what he did. It is serious bad blood between everybody involved. As to how Savon and Alex responded, I feel like there's kind of a disconnect here where it appears as if Rory and Mal feel that Savon, Alex, Parks, and Erickson initiated the conversation and were the guiding force behind that basement secret meeting. And now they are seeing that Savon and Alex are painting this picture that it was Rory and Mal came in the room, knock, knock. Hey, Joe Budden is ruining this podcast. It's time for us to take over. Joe Budden is a terrible leader. And notice that Savon and Alex are painting themselves as these kind of innocent byproducts who were at their producer table making stuff, and then they had no part to play in the breakup. They had no part when they might have actually been the people who were igniting the flames and all of that stuff. But hey, it's interesting. I think Savon is pretty much clearly telling everyone that he is disappointed in Mal. Everybody's disappointed in everybody, man. Nobody had conversations. Savon is saying Mal crossed the line and that he should have never made that comment about ball glazing. But what do you think in the comments? Do you think Savon is doing a deflection in order to not address what Rory and Mal actually said? Or do you feel he's actually right? Man, Pod Wars are really interesting right now. I got more content coming across my desk, so stay tuned with the channel. Stay tapped in. There's a lot going on, y'all. A lot going on. Follow me on Twitter, The Stop TV, and follow my Reddit, Joe Budden Network. We'll be right back really quick. This is Danny from The Stop. Peace!
You ain't about to get no exclusive for The Stop.